dear little jingle. I'm Jaz, and this is Isabeau, and welcome to our CannibalCast, where we are talking about everything other than cannibalism.
Yes!
Oh my god, teenager therapy is coming to an end?
We can replace
Sobbing?
them! Perfect. Oh, well, not perfect at the ending, because I used to eat them up, but good that we're here.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, hi booby cakes, and welcome to the first episode of CannibalCast.
Oh my gosh!
Why are you
I love
freaking
it.
out? Oh, okay. I thought that's something happened.
Wait, and also, look what I found. Hold on. I need to get this on camera. If there's milk, I'm about to eat this up. I don't care if it affects my lactose intolerance. About to devour. Look at what I have. Look at what they have.
Wait! Today's episode
Do
is
you remember
about
these?
childhood nostalgia, starting off with these goddamn straws that I know everyone has taken a sip out of. Those things were my bread and butter, dude. Are you kidding me?
Literally.
I was obsessed.
These were like an addiction.
I remember my go-to meal was like a Nutella sandwich and then Milo or like a milk with one of them because I hated milk.
I agree.
I used to watch this TV show when I was younger. I don't know what it's called. It was similar to the Muppets, but also not similar in that it was characters, but they were like they look similar to Backyardigans, but I just don't remember what it's called and I've been trying to find it for the longest time. I used to have it on like VHS tapes. I don't know why my family had it on VHS tapes, but I'd watch it and High Five. We also had High Five on VHS. And I would put them in this big ass TV that we had and I would watch it. That was my thing back then.
You know, Mum would tell me how I always used to watch High Five on the TV and I'm like, yes.
No.
Yes, I did.
High Five guys are kind of Stop. Younger me had a crush on all the High Five members. It was actually not okay. It was not healthy.
No, yes.
That one girl with the one with the pigtails?
Yes!
Yeah, she was really pretty. She had dark hair, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I found her so pretty. I was like, oh my gosh, you're perfect. And I love watching you trace what was that little thingamabob's name? The little shit stirrer one?
There was also this one show, and it had I don't know, but the intro went like, bang, bang, diggery-dong, first thing that I when I wake up. But people made edits. People made edits of the guy, and he was like,
is he the one in all yellow with the red hair?
No, he was like all blue. I think it's called Lazy Town.
Oh, Lazy.
That's what it's called.
Stop it. I used to be obsessed with the wheel number one. Yeah. I used to be obsessed with that. I don't know why. It was like me in 2018, 2019. So how old was I? I was like 12. I would listen to that on repeat. I thought I was the funniest. I was like, wow, I'm just so humorous. I have such great humor. No, you didn't. Shut up. Shut up.
I hope that this rap isn't expired. Rap can expire, huh?
Yes.
I'm not going delusional. Okay.
You're not.
And this is how we get cancelled.
No, it's not that we're gonna get cancelled. You're gonna die of food poisoning. So hey guys, Jaz can't record this week because, she had explosive diarrhea for 3 weeks in a row after eating multiple spoiled items, so just going through a rough time. Please send prayers.
ABC3. They were my bae. They were my go-to before I had to go to school.
I didn't live in Australia when I was so I don't have all the specifically Australian shows. But also there's no specifically New Zealand shows, I feel like. I used to love The Wiggles though.
Oh, The Wiggles. See, I used to watch the old one, the really old one where it had just the 4 guys.
Yes.
And I had a weird crush on the yellow one. I don't know what was going on in my head.
What was his name? Wait, was it Sam or something? Hold on. What is that?
I don't even remember.
What? I had a crush on the purple one.
I feel like everyone had a crush on the purple one.
Are you sure?
Was he the sleepy one? He was the one that would slumber. Or was that the blue one?
Yeah, I used to love the Wiggles. I had a Dorothy cosplayer. I think it was actually my sister in the costume, but I had someone in a Dorothy costume come to my 5th birthday. And I just remember that really clearly in my mind. Did you ever watch Numberjacks when you were younger?
Watch what?
Numberjacks.
Yes. Oh my god, wait.
Someone said that I look like the spoon. Did you
Someone
listen
in
to
that
this?
show gave me trauma. I don't know who, I don't know which one, but one of them, they gave me like straight up like fear.
I think it might have been the spoon because I remember that the spoon was quite scary, like the villains or whatever. But then again, the animation in general was kind of iffy.
Yeah, yeah, no. I agree. You know, I'm actually like craving right now cheesy mites. Give me them $1 cheesy mites. Where they at?
I need to go back to primary school just so that I can get the cheesy mite that they specifically sold at the tuck shop because that stuff it was so like addictive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I would be desperately asking everyone for like $1.50. Like I just need 50 cents, please. I'll pay
Especially
you back, I
when
swear.
they were like nice and warm. I feel like it was a little bit weird whenever the cheese had kind of like stopped being melty and had kind of like bricked up, you know, and was like
Yeah,
and stuff. But when it was like nice and warm and like the cheese was still melty and it was just it was a pocket of goodness, I swear.
I liked it when it had that like perfect crunch to it. I was like, yep, I'm about to devour this in seconds.
A shock to
Um,
me coming being a child that like grew up in New Zealand was coming to Australia and finding out that tuck shops were a thing. Like no primary school in New Zealand has a tuck shop.
really?
No, it was such a weird thing. I was like, why are you able to like buy things at school? And even whenever I tell my friends from New Zealand about school in Australia, they're like, wow, it must have been a really rich school if you had a tuck shop in primary. And I'm like, no, I think that was just like an Australian thing.
Yeah.
I used to have a chicken when I was younger. That's something that I remember a lot. It was our neighbor's chicken, and it just kept on coming over to our side of the fence. Mind you, we lived in like a residential area. I don't know why these people had chickens in the middle of suburban Auckland.
It is what it is.
But the chicken, it was a hen. I don't think you're allowed to actually have roosters in Auckland. I know that it's that way in Cairns. You're not allowed to have roosters because they're too loud, and I assume it's the same here. But our chicken thought she was a rooster, and so she would like hack her lungs out every single morning, like attempting to be a rooster. And I was like, "You're not that girl. You're not that guy." Like, shut up. It's like 5 in the morning, and it sounds like you're having a heart attack outside my window. What's going on? And I really originally I named it Bucka, but I asked the neighbors later on, and they're like, "Oh, her name is actually Midnight, and that's because she was all black." And I was like, "That kind of makes sense, but also like Buck kind of it's cuter. It sticks."
Buck Buck is better. Buck Buck eats.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I told them. Anyways, tell me about your childhood pets, if you have or had any.
I didn't have any until literally like by the time I was like 12, I'm assuming.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, like the first I guess pet that we've ever had was Jaldana, which was Tage May's fish. If we're talking my own pet, like first ever one, it was it was Lewa.
I know that you had like popcorn and stuff. Did you have anything similar to that, like pets that you kind of just grew up around?
Yes, so there was this one dog, and he was a Dalmatian. His name was Udall. Me and him, we was locked in. He was my best friend. He was my number one. I grew up with this dog. This dog was there when I was born. He was there by the time till I was like 12, and then he passed away like a year or two ago. But yeah, he lived a very long life. Love and miss him. And then there's Popcorn and the Lava. Oh, and then my auntie, Mum Telly, she also has a dog, but I forgot the name. But that's kind of it. Like, not much people in our family have pets, and especially like my mom before we had Lewa. I don't think a fish counts. But anyway, like before we had Lewa or anything, my mom straight up like was like 100% like no on pets because when she was young, her little brothers would like straight up kill her pet.
Oh my god.
So I think that was like some childhood trauma or something.
Definitely.
And then she like was just like no to pets like growing up. Cause she was like, I don't want my guinea pig being flushed down the toilet.
I used to have 2 bunnies, and because I was like 7 when I got them, like 7, yeah, I think I was 7. I named them Hippity and Hoppity because I thought that that was so cool, and they were like, they weren't even twins or anything. They didn't even look alike. To be honest, I can't tell the difference between them, and I don't think that 7-year-old me knew the difference between them. One day, one of them would be Hoppity, and then the next day it would be Hippity. Like, I do remember that, they would like get into the cables and stuff and like eat the cables. And I think my dad, he got so angry that they kept on like eating and fucking up his TV cables that he sold them. But he told me that they ran away. So for the longest time, I was like, no, like, can you put up posters? Like, I want them to come back. No, that man had sold those bunnies. Please, 7-year-old me was mourning. I went through a phase where I was so upset about it. But it's okay, I guess.
I swear I remember I used to like bite into these straws and get like little beads out and just crunch on them.
Ew.
When I was done with the straw and like I didn't and like they didn't dissolve like fully, I'd be like, this isn't enough. I would like tear up the straw.
I don't think that's normal.
Definitely not. I grew up weird as hell.
I grew up really weird as well. I think this has been like a reoccurring thing in my life. I really, for the longest time, wanted to wear like prescription glasses. It's such a weird goal. It's such a weird dream. But I really, really badly wanted to have prescription glasses. And so I remember I used to wear these like, they were really thick Harry Potter glasses basically. But they had no lenses in them. Like they were plastic, they were fake. And I would wear them like every single day. And then even when I was like 12, I found these random glasses. And I was like, oh my gosh, cool, I'm going to wear them now. No, they fucked up my eyesight. I actually have prescription glasses because of those glasses that I wore, I assume. But, yeah, that was a weird phase of mine.
I think I did have a phase like that at one point too.
Vampire phase. I know that for sure.
Oh.
Okay, not like Twilight. I was also like, I was really young at the time. I was maybe like 7 or 8 or something. But I had this one vampire costume that I would wear so often. I wish I still had it because, I don't know, it was quite cute. But I would wear it like almost every weekend. I was so obsessed with vampires.
You know what? See, you were safe. Me, my vampire little obsession, it came from Twilight. The movie, The Prince of Egypt, that was like, every time I think of that movie, I just think of Perth because I remember Mum Liz, she had like a USB with like a bunch of movies on there. And one of them was The Prince of Egypt. And I remember it was like late and I was like sleeping in the lounge. I was meant to press the Pirates of the Caribbean, but I accidentally pressed The Prince of Egypt. And I was like, oh, I'll just watch it anyways. The way I became obsessed with that movie. So like every time I come to visit Perth, I would go scavenging for that USB just to watch The Prince of Egypt like once every 4 years.
I feel like that's a universal experience, like that one family member that has like a USB or a hard drive or something that just has a bunch of movies in it and only picking from the movies on there. Or like did you ever have like a DVD case that you had to flip through?
Yes,
me too.
They were stocked full of Barbie and Monster High.
I never had Monster High movies. I would always kind of just look at the dolls. Like I didn't really get into the series until like way kind of later on in my life. But when I was younger, I used to be obsessed with Barbie movies. Like Princess and the Pauper, I could have recited every single line to you. Memory was being dragged out of the car where I was sleeping and just being like put into my bed, like my parents doing that and not telling me or whatever.
Yes.
That was such a cool memory for me. I just remember like I would always wake up halfway into them like taking me inside and I'd always be like, where am I? They'd be like, just shut up. Like
that was like me, but when like I knew we were home, when they would make that one specific turn and I'm like, yep, I know we're home now. Like I felt that bump. I know she almost went into that little crevice right there. I know we're home.
You could like just tell by the vibrations in the road. You were like, yeah, I know exactly where I am.
Yes. For me, that's like a cool memory. Let's just say like in Broome. And because like we'd be going to like everyone's houses. So later at night we would go for a drive and I'm like tired as hell and I just close my eyes. I'll be like, oh, so I know where we're going. First we're going to Macca's. And then we're going to go to Mom Telly's house. Yeah, that's what we're doing.
I love that for you. That's so funny.
Oh, another cool memory for mine, but this is more like food. So in Broome, they have these markets. And like whenever we went there, my combo, straight up, it was like these donuts that they would do, which were so good. Like I would devour them. They were also like, I don't know how to describe them, but kind of like icicles, but in a cup. And I think the way that they would make it is it was literally just like Kool-Aid or like, no, not Kool-Aid. It was literally just like cordial, but like with a lot of cordial instead of like water. And then they'll just freeze it up and put it in a cup. put a stick, and then bam, that's like your little icicle for the day. Or like icy pop. Yeah, the way that I would devour that, it'd be gone in like 3 minutes.
But another culture shock for me was icy poles. Like nobody in New Zealand, I feel like, says icy poles.
Really?
Yeah, like that's not a common like phrase
What?
or like common slang. Like usually it's just like ice block.
Mm.
Another culture shock was okay. So my dad's like he's in the navy and he speaks like a sailor, right? So he has like weird slang that I feel like only sailor people
Yeah.
use, or like I don't know, just odd people use. And he used to always call dessert instead of calling it dessert. He'd be like, "Oh, do you want duff?" And so I'd be like, "Yeah." And then finding out that I've never heard anyone else in my life call it duff. But I feel like that's just it's so like ingrained in my head. Like I know exactly what he's talking about when he says, "Oh, do you want duff?" I'm like, "Yes."
Yeah.
Says that.
I don't know if I have any culture shock. Actually, yes, when moving to Queensland, because like in Western Australia, they call the tuck shop the canteen.
Oh
So
yeah.
coming to Queensland and like people saying like, "Oh, let's go to the tuck shop," I'm like, "The huh? What?" And then they're like, "Tuck shop," and then we'd go there, and I'd be like, "Oh, the canteen," and they'd be like, "Excuse me?" I'm like, "The canteen." And it was also the same with like during assembly.
Mhm.
Um, in WA, I swear we used to call them parade, which is yeah, we would call it parade, which was dumb because I was like, it's not a parade, it is an assembly. But anyways, my little confused brain was like, "Excuse me, tuck shop, what's that?"
Another culture shock was just all the slang. Like it's so uncommon, like all the slang that's used in Australia. Even now, like I'll use slang that I picked up when I was in Australia to people from New Zealand, and they look at me as if I've grown a nipple on my forehead. Like it's actually insane the way that they look at me. They're like, "What did you just say?" Like I'll even like small things. Like I'll be like something like mob. You know what I mean? Like, "Oh, what are you and your mob doing? Like,
Oh my
is your mob doing
gosh.
anything for Christmas?" And they're like, "My what now?"
The day I come to New Zealand is a day like people are not gonna understand me.
No, not at all.
You're gonna be my translator for real.
Even like simple words like titter and bala, none of them know what it means. They all think that it's like offensive or something. Oh, is Guy Fawkes a thing
Interesting.
in Australia?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, because that's like a huge thing here. I want to say like 5 days before Guy Fawkes and then like 5 days after, all you hear at night is fireworks. Like sometimes even when the sun is still up, you hear people letting off fireworks. I'm like, yo, it's not even Guy Fawkes yet. What are you doing? The
I'm like, pipe down.
overbehaving.
I'm trying to get my
Literally, I'm like,
sleep.
yo.
What y'all think y'all doing?
Literally, I'm like, ah.
Oh my god, wait, and this is gonna sound so bad. This is what's gonna get us cancelled. You ready? Growing up in West Australia, you're just because you're like somewhere that's very just like what is it, rural?
Yeah.
And like there's like hardly any cities. There's only like what, like two, maybe like three cities
Mm-hmm.
in West Australia. And it's just like it's dry. Most of the place is just town. It's like, it's empty because of how like hot it is and like the population is it's not a lot.
Yeah.
So when I moved to Queensland, I was like, whoa, finding out that there was such a culture called Torres Strait Islanders. I was like,
So,
or
so
like
your culture shock was literally just
finding,
finding out that other cultures exist. You're like,
well,
all I've ever
yeah,
known is
because
Aboriginal, Italian, and Fijian. What do you mean there's more?
like growing up before, like having the conversation, like, Mom, am I anything other than just Aboriginal? I would think like, oh yeah, there's only like Aboriginals and like what these random white people,
Stop!
like
That's
in
actually so
Australia.
funny. That is golden.
Until I come to Queensland and I'm like, whoa, like Torres Strait Islanders, Polynesians, what's happening?
You're like, and none of y'all are Aboriginal?
No, because that's the thing. I feel like there's hardly, like, other than Yoruba, I feel like there's hardly any Aboriginals in Queensland. Oh, well, from what I've experienced in a way.
I kind of had the
It's,
opposite when I went to the Cook Islands, and that like majority of the population in the Cook Islands is going to be Cook Islanders. But going there and
mhm,
seeing that like I
yeah.
was the only half white person, other than this only half Samoan girl in my class, I was the only like non-full Cook Islander, you know what I mean? I was like, oh, okay.
And then also, like, when I first went to campus, no one understood me because of the way I would talk, and I had to literally like switch up my lingo, and it
Did
took
you
me a
have like
long
a really
time to
strong
as well. Yeah,
accent or
like
what?
let's just say because like I was growing up in like Broome my whole life, so like giving like the tribe there Yaru and like their slang and like whatnot that they use, I was so used to it. And so when I started school there, it was basically just like a white school. Anyway, so when I went there, no one understood me, like for what I was saying. Like they must have thought, wow, she's black. No one understood like a grain of rice of what I was saying. Yeah, slang was strong, and also I think my English would have been like a bit broken because of the slang or just like what I'm used to back in Rome. And so like when I'm like trying to talk to the teacher, like, oh, I'm stuck on this, they would just look at me like, yeah, do we got a translator in the room? No,
Did you think it was
literally,
like the
they
opposite
would
when you
just leave
went
me there
back to
to
Broome?
struggle. No, not. Oh, I mean, like sort of like the first time I went back to Brew for like school holidays, like my family would look at me like, "Whoa, so you picked up a lot while you were there." Or like I guess I became very like posh in a way to them,
Mm.
ish, if that's the right way of saying it.
Yeah.
Or like my English was more proper, like it wasn't broken.
Mm.
And because I haven't seen them for a long time, so like hearing them speak, I'm just like, huh? Or like, what?
Oh my gosh, you're like that one cat though.
Or like,
Huh?
yeah, I just have
Huh?
to, huh? It took a long time to like make friends and like get along. And because when we first moved here, I was staying with Abby,
Mm-hmm.
and Abby back then, like she was very, I wouldn't say selfish because like you're like a kid. So I was like what? I think like 5 or 6. Like we were both like 5 or 6 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But she was very, very to herself, or like she didn't like sharing things and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I get that because imagine like you wake up the next day and you're like, who the fuck is in my bed? Like, who is this? Like, mama, explain yourself. Who are these people? Oh yeah, but y'all, I'm not ready for year 11. Why? Because I think when I was having the interview at my school, so my grades were really bad. Like I was sitting on an E for math and like a D or an F for English. Um, so when I went there, of course they were very shocked at my grades, and then they were also like, blah 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 blah. You need to like actually lock in there because year 11 is something. And then they hit me, and I started crying, and I was like, damn, like y'all about to fuck me up. I ain't going to university for shit. But anyways, am I excited? I'm 50-50 with it, y'all. I'll keep it at that.
Oh my gosh, what was Christmas like for you as a child?
Oh, Lord have mercy. The family dinners, they were real interesting.
Did you have
Present.
like full extended family, like your aunties and your cousins, or just like your aunties and uncles and stuff?
It was like I guess basically like everyone from like Broome, like
Damn.
they would all be there, and also at times like Mum Les from Perth, she would come like for Christmas. Oh no, this was actually before she moved there. So yeah, like basically like just everyone, like it'd be like a big like family thing.
Mm.
But like every year Christmas will come by, the less presents I would get, which I'm not mad about.
Christmas for me was like my extended family was so kind of like spread out, and also my aunties and stuff have like mad beef with each other and my mum. So like I don't think I've ever had
Ooh,
Christmas where the entirety of my family has been in one area together.
yeah. Well, that's also the same with me. Like everyone in my family has like some beef with just some mental illness with each other, but they I guess they just show up anyway just for the kids.
Mm.
But then after they're like, well, I don't know, cussing each other out on the phone or something.
Stop. Oh my gosh, childhood memory, taking photos with Santa. I love that.
Ooh,
Totally just
I,
gonna let a random old man in a mall take a picture with my child. I love that. I love that.
yeah, I think I only ever did that once, and
Really?
like my experience with that Santa, I was like, "There's something up about you, Mr. Santa, and I don't like it."
You're a bit traumatized.
And
You're not gonna
after
lie.
that, like, I just never took photos with Santa anymore. I was like, "Yeah, no, thank you." Like, I'll stand on the side, but I'm not sitting on your lap.
I feel like back then I probably would have enjoyed taking pictures with Santa, but I feel like now I really want to go just take pictures with Santa with my friends. Like I feel like that'd just be so silly. I feel like
Yeah.
it's just a cute little thing to have, like having a little fridge magnet or like a little photo just with Santa. I feel like it's cute.
Oh my gosh. When it comes to fridge magnets, I would always steal them. It was it
From
was always
who?
like because
Who did you take them from?
like family members
That-
because like some of my family members would like work for Rio Tinto and like they would like travel to like different countries sometimes and they'd
Mhm.
come back with like a magnet.
Oh yeah.
And I'd be like, oh, this is cute. And then when they're not watching me, I'm running, I'm
Yeah.
stealing that magnet.
I
But yeah,
I used to love like number magnets. We never really had like alphabet magnets, but we always had number magnets for some reason, and I'd always just make stuff out of them. It was really
yes.
fun. Did you have a favorite food or drink?
um, Favorite drink still is my favorite orange and mango juice. Ooh,
Oh, yum.
yum. Me. Mama would like, if I was crying, she would shut me up with that. And I think like she had one of those dummies where you could put like drinks or like fruits in it, you know?
Mm.
And so she would like fill it up with orange and mango juice and she'd be like, here and I'm like, yeah, give me my drink. I was like an alcoholic when it came to that juice.
I was I was a really picky eater when I was younger, and I kind of still am. Like I only this
Same.
year. This year has been the first time that I've ever had lamb. The first time I've ever had shrimp or prawn or whatever. I've ever had.
What do you think of lamb?
Oh, I love the lamb dishes that I had. I had one at this
Yeah.
South Asian place, and then I had one at a. It was specifically an Afghanistani place, and it was so tender, and it
Uh-huh.
had like rice with it, and I was like, you know, this eats like this is really good. And then the time that I had shrimp, I don't know if it
Yes.
was shrimp or prawn. I think it was shrimp. It was because I was at someone's house. They had bought sushi before I got there, and I didn't want to be rude and be like, yo, I
Uh-huh.
don't really like sushi, which I don't, kind of. Oops. But so I just ate it, and I actually liked it. It was really good.
Yeah.
I basically only ate mashed potatoes. The only things that I would ever eat was mashed potatoes and pasta and bread, like white bread
Yeah.
specifically. I don't know why.
I was also very picky. Like, I don't know. I'd always just eat fish and chips and that's it.
Stop.
Like,
That's kind of funny.
yeah, fish and chips was my go-to. If it wasn't my breakfast, dinner, and lunch, we're gonna have a bad day. There's just like one shop in Broome and it's called the Fong store.
Mm.
And like everyone knows it. Everyone knows it. Everyone goes there. Like it's not like not known of. Every time we would go there, like she would like we'd always say hi and whatnot. Then we'd grab what we like needed. And I think like one time, when we came to Broome for a visit, because I was like the obsession I had with salty plum powder, it was not okay. Like it was so good.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like before we left, mom told us to like go there to meet to meet her. And then we're like, okay. So we went there. She had two big bags, or like two or three big bags of like different kinds of salty plum.
Mm-hmm.
My salty plum powder was in there. I was like, you do not know the amount of love and affection I have for you now. And then we came back to Cairns with like three big bags full of just different like salty plums.
I'd never had a salty plum. I'd never even heard of what a salty plum was. Or I had never set my eyes on
Yeah.
something even similar to a salty plum before I came to Australia. And everyone's like, oh, like they traded it like it was drugs in primary school. Like salty plums was a valued currency in our primary school. It was actually insane. Like salty plum and then rara powder.
Yes.
People would eat. No, what was the other? It was like
Yes.
that Kool-Aid type thing, but it wasn't called Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
I don't know what the brand
Yeah.
is, but
It was
it was
Kool-Aid.
like a Kool-Aid powder, and it was that and sodium. Plum.
Yeah.
People would like anyone saw you with a packet of either of those, you would be swarmed. I personally,
Literally.
I don't really like salty plums. You know those salty plums in like the toffee.
Yeah, no, I never liked salty plums. Like I only ever had the powder. And when I saw someone with that, I'm like hunting you down. I'm like, please, I'll give you like $5.
My cousin liked salty plum because apparently it tasted like fish to her, and I was like, that's a bad sign. Like, why does a plum taste like fish? Like, what
Or
is
like,
that?
yeah. Like I would only ever eat salty plum powder or the seedless salty plums. The
Mm.
seedless ones are pretty good. I like those. But yeah, like you would straight up get like swarmed by if anyone saw you with salty plums. Like, best believe you're going home today with like nothing left.
A childhood memory for me was we used to live in a house. I remember that it had a fig tree. I'd never had a fig before, and I didn't. I don't. I said that I didn't like figs, as in I'd never had them before. If I've never had anything in my life, I'm going to say that I don't like it, even if I've never had it. Like
Same.
prior to this year, I was saying, "Oh, I don't like lamb. Oh, I don't like shrimp. Oh, I don't like these things." I'd never had it. I have never had lamb and shrimp before that. But still, I said that I didn't like it just because
Yeah.
I didn't have it. But we had like a balcony, and I used to paint. I was an artist,
Uh-huh.
if you could say that, and I used to have
Wow.
really huge like jugs of not jugs, but like they were like the big bottles of paint.
Yeah.
I had like 50, not 50, like I had 5 of them or whatever. And one day, Mana and his friend decided to pour all 5 of them onto our balcony,
Oh no.
and it didn't come off. Mind you, this isn't a house that we owned. It was literally one that my mum was renting. Madness. I was so upset that my paints were wasted. Not that it had gotten all over the balcony, but that I could no longer paint. I was like, how am I supposed to become the next Michelangelo like this? How am I supposed to become Leonardo da Vinci?
Not a plushie, but a pillow that I've had since literally like childbirth.
That is so cute.
It was one of my godmoms because I have two.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming I think it was the one from Perth, but she gave me like as like a congratulations like for having a baby.
Mm-hmm.
She gave me like a little like blanket. Oh no, not blanket, a pillow, and it was purple and it had fairies on it. And I remember when I was younger, I used to always like chew on this one corner of the pillow,
Ew.
and I and I still have it like to this day. It's in like a little box, but yeah, I still have it. The little marks, they're still there.
Oh my
The chew
gosh.
bites, they're
That
there.
sounds
Mom would tell me like I was either like always nibbling or
Oh my
just
gosh,
like I just
munching
always
on
had
that
it.
one corner. I don't really have anything from like childbirth, I don't think. But I do have like a plushie that
Mm-hmm.
I've had since I was 3. He's so manky. Like he's like disgusting and brown. Like not brown as in that's just his color, like brown as in I think he's actually like foul, like dirty. He doesn't smell or anything, but also he's not clean. So I I've always wondered what he looked like when he was first bought, but I will never know.
Ooh, I remember when it came to like movies was what you call it putting a DVD in, and then there would be like that one specific like ad thingy, and you had to like find the remote like real quickly um to like skip it so you didn't have to sit through it. And it was like a man's voice, and he was like I don't know, he was just yapping about the DVD, and I'm like, bruh, find the remote.
I
I'd be
feel
like
like
screaming at mom like, mom,
I feel like I didn't really appreciate how cool DVDs were until like later on in my life. Like looking at DVDs now, they have bonus parts and they have like, they have the behind the scenes and whatever. I'm like, wow, this is so cool. They have like all the trailers and whatever for the movie. I'm like, that's kind of interesting. I like that. A trauma from my childhood was having really odd haircuts when I was younger. Like I had a side bang for a good 3 years when I was like 7 years old. And I just remember I always look back on those photos and I'm like,
uh-huh.
why was it a side bang? Why didn't you fully commit to the full bang? Like, I think it was because I had a cowlick, so I feel like it'd be hard for me to commit to a full bang.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, I don't think I ever cut my hair when I was younger. It was always like the framing pieces. I kept the length like the entirety of my childhood, but I kept on having weird like things going on around my face. It was very odd. I know that you were buzz cutted when you were
It's like the
younger.
complete opposite with me. I'm having buzz cuts like once every month because everyone in my family had straight hair other than like my dad's side, and I like hardly ever met my dad's side. So when my hair would get to like a certain length that mom just could not handle, she'd be like, well, time to buzz. Like, how
Barbershop.
dare you?
Oh, do you
Yeah.
think that maybe like
It's
changed
like
your
it was
hair
either the
pattern or anything?
yeah, no, definitely. I feel like it was that, or if my mom just like was too lazy to like, or like by the time like my mom like stopped shaving my head when I was like, I don't know, like 3, she would just like relax it to like kill my curls and make it easier to deal with. But I have seen photos of like my hair, like when it would grow out after being like buzz cut,
Mm.
and girl, it was very coily. The curls were real tight, hella thick. So who knows? Like once I graduate high school, I might just buzz my hair.
I've seen so many videos where people are like, "Oh, I had straight hair, and then I shaved all my hair off, and then it grew back curly," or the opposite, where they're like, "Oh, I had really like coily or kinky hair, and then it grew back straighter, or like wavy or whatever." So I wonder if that did anything to your hair.
Who will see? Who knows? Will you help me shave my hair by the time I'm like 20?
Yeah, we can go bald together.
Oh my gosh! Well, your hair grows out real fast, girl. So you're gonna be passing me like after like 2 months. Like you're gonna already have like a bob or something.
Another childhood memory is my mum constantly changing her hair. Like I don't think ever my mum has had the same hairstyle for like more than a few years. Like I remember when I was younger, she had like a really short like pixie cut, and then she grew it out, and then she had it really long for a few years, and then she bleached it, and then she went red, and then she went buzz cut, and now she's like kind of at a bob stage, and then I don't know. I'm very excited to see what she does in the future because I know that she wants to like color it, but yeah, that's kind of always been like a thing in my
Yeah.
life. My father, on the other hand,
Mm,
has not changed his appearance whatsoever since I was born. The entire 16 years of
I
my life,
agree. He's
every
just the
photo.
same big old black man with a bald head.
Like,
Every dad is bald.
no, yeah. They're either bald or balding, or they have a forehead of hair.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same
Yes.
haircut too. It's the same like three haircuts that dads can have. I feel
Yes.
like. Like when you become a dad, I think you have to go through like a specific catalog of what haircuts you're allowed to have or something. I don't know.
And who knows? It might be like growing up, your kid was like yanking your hair like no tomorrow, and you were just fed up.
No, yeah. Oh
Who
my gosh,
knows? Who
wait,
knows
that's
the
kind of
reason to why they're
smart.
bald?
You're onto something,
Hmm.
Jess. All dads are balding because they're getting their hair yanked off. Or like when dads put their kids over their shoulder. Maybe that's why they have the bald patch in the middle of their head
Yeah.
because like their kid is like
Yes, because like the
yanking them in the middle
baby
of
or
their
like
hair.
the child is like gripping on their hair while they're being like, piggybacked on the shoulder. Like, see, I'm smart as hell. Y'all
You
cannot complain.
are. You're
This is
onto
why y'all
something.
dads
We
are
can finally be
balding. For the
smart.
dads that didn't give their children piggybacks, I know damn well y'all got a full head of hair.
Oh my gosh, were you an iPad kid when you were growing up, or were you like a mud kid?
Was I a what?
Were you an iPad kid, like constantly online, or were you like a mud kid who would go out and make like mud cakes in the dirt?
I was goddamn. I was melatonin kid. Like mom would tell me like the amount of times that I would like sleep a day. She thought that I was like dying already. Like
Maybe you're
I
just
don't know. Like
anemic.
every time I asked her about my childhood, she would just tell me like you were a very just like chill and quiet kid. Like once you were fed, you just like would go to sleep or like I just didn't give any. I don't
That's
know.
kind of
I just
funny.
didn't care about the world. I was all to my own.
I think I don't know what I was. I remember that like I kind of had phases. Actually, no, that's a lie. I definitely was an iPad kid. Not like an iPad kid nowadays where it's like they're on their iPad constantly. Like I wasn't on my iPad like at the dinner table or anything, but a large majority of my
Yeah.
day was spent on an iPad or a tablet. And I think that's where all my online trauma came from because since the age of like 4, I was just given unfiltered access to the internet. Yeah, it was really
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. I was just a very,
You were just a
I
bit
don't know.
sleepy.
Yeah, very quiet. Yeah, I'm just a bit tired, and I was always just like in my own little pod.
Like even now you're quite chill and you're always like, I'm tired. I'm about to knock out.
I remember like before May came into the world, I had my own bedroom, and there was these fairy lights, and they were like core memory. I need to find them online somewhere, because those fairy lights were like my everything. They were like they were my drug. They were my medication. If those things were not on in my room, I'm having a bad night. I'm gonna be wailing and crying and spitting on the floor. I'm gonna be having a heart attack.
I'd like like mosquito nets.
Yeah.
I used to have a really big pink mosquito net. It was like connected to the ceiling, and so it came down. It kind of looked like those princess beds in like fairy tales, but I remember that was my version of your fairy lights. Like I loved my mosquito net so much. I don't know why. It made me feel so magical when I was inside of it. It never clicked to me that it was all mosquitoes. I just thought that I was so special. I was like, wow, I have this like piece of mesh over me whenever I go to sleep.
Yes. No, I had the same thing too. It reminded me of just like this princess beds, and I was like, "Yep, I'm like practically royalty. Don't
Yeah.
play with me." But I also remember in that bedroom of mine, there was this fairy lights, and I also had like my own little TV, and I only had like what, like four different DVDs, and like most of oh no, I had DVDs, and most of them was either like Monster High or My Little Pony. I chucked that on, knocked out in like the first 5 minutes.
I was never super into My Little Pony. Like, I never really watched the series. I watched Equestria Girls, the movie, but other than that, I wasn't a brony. You know what I mean? I wasn't super engaged in the
Yeah.
My Little Pony verse.
And I lie, it wasn't even My Little Pony. It was either Monster High or Lego Friends. I still remember the intro. And best friends forever, forever and ever. Me and my girls were best friends forever. And if I couldn't find the TV remote, I would like go insane by listening to it to the second time.
I
I'm pretty
never
sure I had
watched
a
like
crush on one of the
Spurred.
girls
Ah! Woo!
in my Lego Friends. I think, or like because I don't know, there was like what, like seven of them, and they each had their own like little like trait.
Mm,
And I think I was like, I swear I was in love with like the music one or something.
that makes sense.
Wait, I don't know if she was black or if she was a ringer.
I
I don't
only
know.
remember ever hearing the jingle, like the theme song on ads. Like I never watched a series or anything. I think I had one Lego Friends set, and that's because for Christmas my dad would always buy me a Lego sets. So I had like one of the sets. Oh no,
Wink.
yes, Roma. I never watched Winx.
Oh, they were my go-to. I was in love with Techna. I don't know what it was, but Techna was like, "Yep, I love you. You're my icon. I want to be you when I grow up." I feel like, oh, what was her name? I feel like I forgot her name, but like she was sort of like the main character in the group. I feel like she was way overrated. I'm like, y'all be liking her too much just because she has like a pet dragon or something. I was like, y'all are hyping her up too much just because her boyfriend is like your dream man, and I don't know, she can spit flames and can ride a dragon. Don't mean that she's all that. What about Techna? What about my bae? She can literally hack the system in like a millisecond.
Oh, what were your opinions on Ever After High? Did you even watch it?
I never watched it. I was not an Ever After High girl. I don't know. I don't know how or why. It just like I've never came across it.
I don't remember the rest of the theme song, but I just remember the end when it went Ever After High. I just remember that. I think it's so cool seeing people reimagine the sons and daughters of like popular fairy tale people. I think it's really cool. Especially ones that aren't traditional ones. Like Cheshire Cat and stuff like that. Like I found it really interesting that they would insert like his daughter and stuff like that. It's really cool though.
Barnyard. Mom would tell me how much I'd watch Barnyard. I think it's literally just those two,
Barnyard,
Hercules and
the one with
Barnyard.
the talking cow.
Yes, I'm talking cows and that
No,
Rasta mouth. They call me Mr. Bombastic.
no, I love that. I love that little thing.
Those were my movies. That's
His name
what
was
gave
like
me
Biggie
those
Cheese or
two
something,
movies.
which I found so hilarious. I was like,
Yes.
why is this random rat just it came out of nowhere too. I was like, oh, okay.
I was in love with Biggie Cheese. I was like, yes,
You know what I love?
say
I love that in Barnyard, like the male cows also have udders, which they don't in real life. Like they don't. I was
yeah.
like, why do they have udders? They don't produce milk.
There's a car farm.
Stop.
I
Wait, what was the husband's
feel like that
name?
movie.
Wait.
I
Oh
don't
no,
know.
it
I
was
think it was
Randall.
like Gale or
Randall, there's a
something.
cow
Oh,
outside.
there's a car farm. What?
We should audition for the live action.
Why is there so many like history thingies on YouTube? What is this?
Why can I can literally hear that through the thing, Jazara. This is madness. What is this turned into? Did you have a favorite muse?
A favorite meme?
Muse, like the Muses and Hercules.
Um, um,
I like the really tall
no, I
one,
don't
but I
think
thought they were
so.
all really pretty. I was like, oh my gosh, they're like delicious, gorgeous.
Oh yeah, I was like, can y'all be my mama? Can y'all adopt me? I loved all of them equally. They
I'm
were
sorry,
my
but
days,
I never really had a
honey,
crush
give
on
me
Hercules, but he had that fucked up chin.
Hercules. Yeah, I did not have a crush on Hercules. I would always be happy every time like the muses would come along to sing, and I'd be like, yes, get into it. They were my favorite parts of the movies.
For me, it was like Frank and Weenie.
Yes, it was that movie that scared me.
Yeah, his friend with the weird voice and like the really long fingers and the like the dead fish or whatever. He really irked me, but he
Yeah,
really gave me the heebie-jeebies. And then also, I think it might have been The Nightmare Before Christmas that really got me. Like, I don't know why. I think it was the mayor. The mayor really scared me.
yes, but no, I was scared of those three little kids that worked for him.
Oh yeah.
I was like, what is like the ones with the mask? I was like, what is up with y'all?
Didn't they ride around in a little tub or something? That was kind of cute. Did you ever watch
Detentionaire.
Kindergarten?
Yes, I had a crush on that little blue one. I was like,
You had a
hey.
crush on it.
Yes.
Madness. Did you ever watch Small Potatoes before it became a weird thing on TikTok?
Yes. I was in love with
Potatoes!
that show. I was like,
That meme made me giggle.
ooh,
It's so goofy.
potatoes.
Okay, well, anyways, thank you for listening to the first episode of the CannibalCast. We hope you enjoyed. We will be back hopefully next week, if not the week after. And maybe we'll talk about Dream. We'll do a little bit of research and then we'll talk about the Dream allegations. And we're going to be your number one reporters. So make sure to subscribe and like and comment and hit that bell icon.
And share it around if you wanna. I mean, like,
You can find us on YouTube and Spotify, and you can also follow us on Instagram at cannibal.cast. That's CANNIBAL question mark .CAST on Instagram. I think I spelled that right. If not, it's fine.
yeah.
OMG.
Cannibal cast. Goodbye.
There's a
Adios.
cow outside.
Yeah, the cow farm. You gotta find cows outside. Pull the lever, grunt. Pull the lever, grunt. The other lever. Lever?
Like, I wouldn't have imagined. Just I can hear it in the background.